Welcome to my learners of class 9 and 10. My dear learner, can you imagine what I am going to do today? In the last class, I discussed with you about the narration of imperative sentence. Today, I am going to discuss another sentence, another speeches of another sentence. So, my dear learner, take the reference book of English second paper, your daily notebook and a pen. Then join with me to discuss the topic, to watch the video, to listen my speech. Look at the whiteboard. There is some sentence are written on whiteboard. My dear learner, the first sentence is, he said to me, do you like banana? We know that there is choice part in a direct speeches. So, here is also choice part, reporting verb and reported speech. But and the second sentence, father said to me, why do you disturb me? This is also, here is choice part, reporting verb and reported speech. In the choice, direct speeches, in reported speech, there is choice sentence, and both of them are what kind of sentences? Can you imagine? Most of you imagine that these sentences are interrogative sentence. Though some of you forgotten the structure of interrogative sentence, but all of you see that there is an interrogative sign after the sentence. So this is interrogative sentence. So my dear learner, now I am going to discuss with you about the interrogative sentence, the speech of interrogative sentence. So, my dear learner, the topic is changing speech. Interrogative sentence. That means we are going to start the changing of interrogative sentences speech. In the meantime, you can notice that there is choice kind of sentences in the whiteboard. On of started by do plus subject and another is started by WH plus subject. So, my dear learner, easily we can imagine that there is choice kind of question. One of them are WH question and another is yes no question. I am coming to the point a few minutes later. Now follow the changes of these sentences. First one is, he asked me if you like banana. That means what are the changes here? My dear learner, follow. In lieu of said, we used asked. And for the inverted comma or quotation, we have used if. And the other rules are we used according to the rules of assertive sentences, which we used when we changes the assertive sentences speeches. That means, my dear learner, we have to follow here only twice new rules. One of them, in reporting verb, we have to use asked after said. And for omitting the inverted comma, we have to use if or whether. Though if, the word if is very simple to spell, very simple to write and very simple to pronounce. So all the time we can use if. If you want to write whether, no problem. It's also the another word. You can use any one of both. If we want to write whether, then we can mistake spelling error. Though if the word is bigger than if, so we can use the easy word if. My dear learner, now go to the second sentences. Here is also we use asked after in lieu of said. And here, we have not used if or whether in lieu of inverted comma. Can you notice, my dear learner? My dear learners, follow. Here, the inverted comma has been omitted, but we have not used any word in lieu of inverted comma. My dear learners, that means in the speeches, in the direct speeches, if there is WH word such as what, how, when, where, why, etc. If there is WH word, we need not to use if or whether. Can I make you understand? My dear learners, then what we will have to do here? In the first sentence we use if or whether in lieu of inverted comma. But if there is WH question, WH word in reported speech, we need not use to use the if or whether in lieu of that. So, my dear learners, listen to me again. If there is WH word in reported speech, the WH word is used in indirect speech. That means in direct speech there is why, in indirect speech we also use there is why. There is not alternative word for WH word. If there is what in direct speech, we will use what in indirect speech. But we need not to use if or whether if there is WH word in direct speech. Can I make you understand? My dear learners, then go ahead. This is for interrogative sentences. Though we have to make all the speeches in assertive mood, so we not use the do in indirect form. So after why we have to use I, subject, pronoun. This is second person change to object. This is first person, so we have to use here first person, I. Then this is verb, disturb, present tense. Here is also past tense, though the reporting verb is past tense, disturbed. And then another pronoun, first person change to subject. here is subject is third person, father. So we can use here objective form of third person, him. Can I make you understand? Now I am going to the next point. In the beginning of the discussion, I told you that there is a choice kind of question. One of them was number one. One of them was yes or no. Yes, no questions. And another is WH questions. My dear learners, in the meantime, we have followed the rules of both of sentences, both of speeches, how to change the speech of yes no question and WH question. Now, my dear students, now we can go to some practices. I am writing a sentence for you. He said to me, do you like my son? My dear learners, what kind of question is it? Without any doubt, we can say that this is yes no question. That means we know if it is WH question, it was started by WH. If the question is not started by WH, then we can say that that is yes no question. Can I make you understand? My dear learners, so how can we change this sentence? Then subject, verb, asked. In lieu of said, we have to use asked. Then me, for inverted comma, we have to use here if. Then do will be omitted. Why? Can you remember why it will be omitted? This is interrogative sentence, so there we have to use a auxiliary or a model auxiliary before subject. But when the sentence will be an assertive sentence, there is no auxiliary or a model auxiliary before subject. My dear learners, so we have to use subject after if. You, this is the second person, and second person will be changed according to the object. So we have to use here first person, me, subjective form, and then the past form of like. My, this is first person changed according to the subject. This is possessive form, so we have to use possessive form of he. And here its possessive form will be his, and then some. Can I make you understand, my dear learners? So, how will be the form or structure of yes no questions speech? We can easily write the structure. Structure will be subject, and then asked, and then object, then if, then again reported speech is subject, then verb, then extension. My dear learners, if you can remember the format, you can easily change the speeches of interrogative sentences of yes no question sentence. Can I make you understand? My dear learners, now we can go WH question. For the WH question, we can write another sentence. Rumi said to Shumi, how do you dance? My dear learners, follow the sentence. The speech is started by WH. How? So it's a WH question. Now we can change it into indirect speech. At first, Rumi, we learned how to change it. We have to ask in lieu of said. Rumi asked Shumi, if there we heard that, we learned that if there is WH in reported speeches, that WH word is not changes. We have to use that word. How? This was interrogative word, so it will be omitted. Then we have to use subject. Use second person change to subject. Then see. See, that means Shumi. And then we have to use verb. Present form we have to use past form. Dance. See. Danced. Can you understand? My dear learners, in this way we can use more and more sentence. Then what is the format or structure of WH questions? Have you copied in your notebook this structure? My dear learners, now I am omitting it for writing another structure. My dear learners, then we have to hear subject plus asked plus object plus WH word plus subject plus verb plus extension. Can I make you understand? My dear learners, now today I have discussed something with you. Can you remember what have I discussed with you? At first I wrote choice speeches on a whiteboard. Then I told you to identify the sentences. Then I wrote the topic, the today's topic on top of the whiteboard and started discussing. At first I said to you that there was choice kind of question. One of them is WH questions and another is yes no questions. Then I discuss with you I described with you what is WH questions and what is yes no question. Then I told you how it will be changed into indirect speech. Then I changed the sentences into the indirect speeches. Then I served the structure or format of indirect speech. Choice questions. For yes no questions, I give you a format, and for WH question, I give you another format. If you can remember the choice format of the choice question, you can change the speeches of interrogative sentences easily. So, my dear learners, see we will tomorrow in the another class in future. No more today. Thank you, my learners.